So, guys, to start off with the transfer roundup, before we get into the real topics, I think that we should have a small discussion on one of the most important transfer sagas that is always going to be there. What is your take on the Messi saga so far, and how do you think it's going to fare out, Gautam?
I think whatever happened, I'm sure all of you saw the whole Goal.com interview with Messi. For me, the way he came out, I almost felt in tears. Just not because I would say I'm a Messi fan. We all are at some point, but the fact that understanding a footballer as a person more than just a play toy, because I feel like Barcelona as a club is an absolute disgrace for everything that he's done for like 20 years for them. I don't. I only all I see was just pain in that video. It's absolute disgrace. It's like how Drogba would like to say it. It's an absolute disgrace.
Okay, I actually didn't expect such a honest opinion, but that's good to know. So, Sashank, what did you make of it?
No, I agree with Gautam because the way Barcelona's the people at the top, the way they've treated Messi, they were never going to let him go easily because they put in a 700 million clause, so it's going to be tough to let him go. But he has a valid point where he said the president told him that he has to inform Barcelona before the end of the season, before the start of the new season, and he did that this time. Okay, and this is Barcelona to understand that this is a very unique situation where due to coronavirus, the whole project restart and everything, it's been different, and they should have given him some leeway. And he's perfectly justified to feel the way he's feeling because for the last 3 years, Roma, Liverpool, and now Bayern Munich, it's been an embarrassment from Barcelona, and they might win the league, even though they've been winning the league before this year. It's just not good enough the way they've been performing in Europe, and then the number of goals they've been conceding in crucial knockout stages. So it's just not good enough, and I think it's completely right that he wants to leave.
So, actually, speaking of that, I think from the CEO or the president point of view, it's right. They're handling it as a business more than as fans like us or being passionate about the thing. I think it would have been okay if they had gone about it the same way, but with giving Messi respect to the situation and getting his feelings and giving a little bit of consideration towards his feelings and opinions on how things were. I think that would have been better, but it's just the way they've blown it up has been the issue. But Nurushan, your opinion on it? Did you really think at any point that Messi would be leaving this season?
To be honest, no. I don't think, even if he wanted to leave, I don't think they would have let him leave because, Gautam said, right now players like Messi are seen as as a financial asset rather than rather than a footballing prospect. Because when you talk about Messi, that's like you have TV rights, you have shirt sales, all of that projects Barcelona as a global club. When you have Messi associated, any club that Messi goes to, you probably have like that. He takes the club to another level. So I don't think he would. I mean, I don't think they would have let him leave if they had like respected his wishes, as in like Sashank said at the end of the season. If he had said, "Okay, I want to go," if they had respected his wishes, he must have. I mean, he could have walked away. But then the club, they wouldn't have done that because right now it's Barcelona have gone from a team to just being Messi. Earlier they had like different superstars. They had more of a team, but now it's just Messi. You lose Messi, and I don't know whether Barcelona have any sort of identity or like someone who represents Barcelona to the very core. Because everybody they've bought him from different clubs. So that's also the other issue. So if they lose Messi, they would have lost the identity. They would have lost all their money, and yeah, that's just my opinion about it.
That's true. Especially when I meant the absolute disgrace part. It's not just about the whole clubs and the upper management. I also mean to the Barcelona fans who are saying that Messi deserves all the bad luck or all the bad charm from whatever this whole desire for him to leave. I cannot believe actually people can think like that. He's done everything for the club for the last 20 years. And if it was for the money, he would have left long time ago. So it's an absolute disgrace. Those are the only two words I'd like to say about this whole saga.
But to sum up this, guys, I think I've already mentioned it. I just want to put it again once. 15 years back when we started following football, the first thing and only thing that mattered in football was the game, the quality, the player, and his commitment. Today, that is a very small part in the whole footballing scene today, and the commercial aspect has taken so much control over the game. And I don't think it's going to change, but I think that we were lucky to have experienced what that last part of amazing football emotions and feelings in the game was. And anyway, now let's get into the show. And I just wanted to get, Sashank, your opinion first. United have been really, really, really quiet the whole transfer window. We've been criticized, we've been frustrated, everything has come out. The Van de Beek signing has calmed the fans, I would like to say. I don't know if I can vouch for everybody, but I think it's safer to say that. But again, coming back to the question, it does add a little bit of extra creativity in midfield. But with just Lindelof and Maguire as a centre backs to start, Bailly is still not trustworthy because of his injuries and his issues and everything. Our fullbacks are still not sorted out. Where do you think we need to invest in right now? Sancho or the backline?
It should not be either Sancho or the backline. It should be both. They
It should be both, but which is the first thing that they should do? Because the Sancho saga has been dragging all the signings so far.
So, but the first thing doesn't matter because the Sancho thing, like you mentioned, has been going on for like 2 months. So they should have, got this deal done. Because initially, what we were thinking was the issue was paying 108 million to Dortmund. But now, recently, with Sky Sports reporting, they're mentioning that the issue is with the agent fees and wages of Sancho, which doesn't sound right because it's something that's surprising. But if they don't have a problem with the 108 million release clause, then they should just pay it and get on with it. But let's not get into the Sancho thing because none of us know how it's going to end up. So there's no point discussing that one. But the defense, I agree with you. But when it comes to either centre back or left back, right now I'll choose the left back option because even though Lindelof and Maguire, they look shaky, they made a few mistakes, the overall record has been decent. They still, they conceded only like 38 goals in the Premier League, and there was, I think it's second or third behind Liverpool and City. So they had a decent season. But if you have that feeling that they're going to make a mistake at some point and that's going to cost you points, then that's a worry. Initially, there was some rumors about Upamecano, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I think we can wait and, maybe in January or the next summer, we can sign Upamecano if he's available. But otherwise, I think the left back would be a good option. And I think with the recent reporting, Reguilon has been offered to United. If that is if that's the true news, then I think they should wrap that deal up because he might be as good as Shaw or even better than him right now. So I think that would be a good signing. But the centre back one, I don't think they're going to make a signing this season, Vinod.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But since you mentioned Reguilon, I don't think he's going to be there in the United squad anytime because as the window goes on and how clubs just go crazy, not knowing what to do because they didn't get what they want, they're just going to go try every possible player available at the market. So I'm not too sure, but let's hope that does happen.
You see, that's where I'll criticize Ed Woodward and these guys. Okay, they got the Van de Beek deal done within 24 hours, but these kind of deals, you got to wrap it up quickly. Otherwise, these other clubs come and pick them. That's what Chelsea did with Werner, right? Liverpool were waiting around. They snapped him up. Havertz, Real Madrid were thinking about it. They didn't have the money. They came and snapped him up. So that's why Chelsea have been really good. So United should learn a few lessons from Marina. Ed should probably take a few lessons from her. But I don't think that this is the reason I don't have too much hope for United because they don't have that mentality that we have to win right away. Chelsea have that mentality that do anything to win the next season after. That's why Chelsea over the last 15 years since Abramovich came, they keep on winning. So I think United should have that mentality.
Okay. On that point, Sashank, since you mentioned it and Gautam having a wave at it, so Gautam, coming to Chelsea now, I don't think we've seen a transfer window so effective and so swift like any club who has done this before. And the small thing that I would like to actually take out of that is you've invested in 7 players and they've all been again in the midfield and attack. And Chelsea has had a great season on those 2 fields already. So why has Chelsea not looked to invest in their centre backs or their full backs? Because you've not had a fully set person in the last 2 seasons. And with the Kepa incidents on field in terms of his performance and with the rumors that he might be leaving, why do you think that Chelsea have left that open? Or do you think that Thiago Silva is the only signing that is good enough to make a difference?
So, to start off with, see, Chelsea have had a great transfer window, but how I'd like to look at it is that you would have seen like a lot of spree transfers that Chelsea has done in the past. Like, the last time they signed like it's more than 6 players was, I think, back in 2013. But the thing is, like, this specific season, I feel so much hope only because of the fact that the number of players that they have signed and the quality that they bring to the table, and specifically in terms of potential and age. So if you see the Chelsea under 23 is actually our starting 11 right now in Premier League. So except for like, and also in terms of strengthening in attack, I would like to add to what you have to say is that specifically if you see the last 4 or 5 seasons before our last title win with Conte, we have not reached that 80 goal mark in the last 4 or 5 seasons. So for you to be a title challenging team, you need to make sure that you are able to score at least a minimum 80 goal season. If you look at Liverpool and City for the last few years, they've been consistently making the mark of more than 80 goals. So last season we were at 69. We had a pretty good offensive season. However, like you mentioned, our defensive frailties actually were exposed. And in terms of not signing somebody defensively, to be honest with you, right now in the transfer market, the defenders are super overpriced as much as the attacking options. And the people we have right now, I mean, in our squad, we do have the depth in terms of center backs. However, they have not actually stepped up to their potential. Like Rudiger and Zuma were actually considered one of the best center backs back, I think, like few years ago. But then they have not lived up to that expectation. So, and what I believe this Thiago Silva signing would do is basically bring that winning mentality to the back line and just get that exposure from an experienced personnel. Because ever since John Terry left, we have not had this leadership figure. Yes, Aspilicueta is a leader, but at the same time, we have not had this leadership figure in the back four, especially in the dressing room for Chelsea. So that's why I have like mixed hope for this season. But at the same time, I believe that this development for future. Like maybe we might not win the title this year, but I think it gives a good room for us to grow for the next few years.
Okay, Gautam, good to hear that. But I like it. Like you said, I think, yes, if Chelsea can outscore all their opponents this season, that is good enough at the end of the day, based on the potential you have. So let's hope that it does not happen just for the United fans' sake. And anyway, now moving on to Arsenal. Nurushan, ever since Arteta has taken over, we've seen a different dynamic and different atmosphere and a lot of shape in the Arsenal squad, as per your own words. And with the limited budget and the way Arsenal are functioning, yes, they've invested and gotten Willian done, Gabriel done, and even Ceballos done. But having that said, Martinez seems to be going off. Bellerin is being linked to PSG. Where do you think Arsenal stand with the current squad at the back? And what are you expecting from Arsenal before the window gets over?
Before the window gets over, like I'll answer that question. Before the window gets over, I hope that they do not sell any of their so-called first team players, because a big part of why Arsenal had a renaissance under Arteta was because of the team and the structure that he sort of set towards after the end of Emery. And Bellerin is a first team player. And like Gautam said, if you're going to like sell a defender, buying another defender in this market is you're just going to pay way over price over the value. And given the current market also, there's going to be a lot of uncertainties which can also ensure, I mean, make sure that the deal does not go through. So why do you want to lose a first team player? You might as well retain him, do everything that you can to retain him. And the players that Arsenal currently have right now are people who have already played for 10, 12 games together. There haven't been much cutting or changing, so they already have that sort of sync amongst themselves. Now taking one player out and trying to bring someone else in, I think that will like distort the entire the what do you say, like the stability to the team, and that might be more detrimental. So that's the reason why I hope that we can hold on to our 11 and hopefully add somebody else like Partey, hopefully, but then or else get somebody who can like fill in as a squad member. That will also be good. So I just hope that we do not have any first team players leaving. Yeah.
Okay, let's just hope that happens for Arsenal so that we have another competitive season from them and we can at least see them in the top 6 with the teams now competing for the spots.
I don't
Okay,
think
guys.
Arsenal are going to pay 50 million right now. Anybody, they don't have the money.
So anyway, guys, I think with that, let's wind up with the first segment, Transfer Roundup. Okay, with that, we have come to the end of our first episode. It has been a long journey to get to this point, and I hope it is the first of many episodes. Thank you to my fellow Warmers for sharing your thoughts and opinions, however shocking they may be. And once again, this is the Flagged Off podcast by the Bench Warmers. Thank you to our viewers, and do drop in your comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Peace out.
Okay.
Bye, boys.